Sunshine. Welcome back to the Sober Witch Life podcast. For those of you that are listening to this on like Spotify or Amazon Music or anything of that nature, you may not realize that I record these actually as a video on YouTube. And I laugh so much at myself because it always catches like the little image, the like thumbnail image or whatever. Like I'll have this goofy ass look on my face just every single time. So yeah, maybe go check it out on YouTube, subscribe, like, hit the bell. I don't know. I'm not very good at all that kind of stuff, but I will tell you this: ratings, subscribing, hitting like, all that kind of stuff. I don't care where you're at, where you're listening to me at. It's helpful, right? Because there's algorithms and tech, and it knows how to serve that stuff up to other people. And yeah, so maybe do that. Maybe just pause and go do that because that would be amazing. Um, yeah, so I've been doing this thing where I have been recording these articles that I've written, and we're on to another one. And I would love this. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. If you've not, let me know and I will stop. I'll go back to like the old format that I used to do, which was lovely and amazing as well. But yeah. So, anyways, this particular one is called The Religion Wasn't a Brand, It Was a Soul Assignment. And oh, God, it's so spooky to start talking about this because yeah, it just is, you know. Spirit has called me to do something incredibly brave and wild, and the reality is, I learned a long time ago to stop saying that I'll never do something because it was usually an indication that I would be doing it. But before I learned that lesson, I had made the commentary that I would never, be in another religion again. So, yeah. Oops, my bad. Yeah, so thanks, Spirit. Um, so, yeah, if you'd asked me at the beginning of this year whether or not I would be starting a religious nonprofit, I would have laughed at you, right? As I was kind of saying, I would have said absolutely not. It wasn't on my radar. Sure, I'd heard whispers from Spirit before around what I was meant to do and the mission that I had and the impact that I'm supposed to have in the world and all that kind of great stuff. And, thank you, Spirit, for leading me. I'm so grateful. But I never imagined that they would lead me here. I thought I was heading an entirely different direction. Like, I had even started to research going back to college to earn my master's as like a counselor, right? Yeah. But Spirit had other plans for me, and I made a commitment a long time ago to allow Spirit to lead me. So when I arrived at this writing retreat that I participated in back in July, I thought I was there to continue the work I'd already been doing, which was writing, publishing, and creating resources that support witches in recovery, right? I'd already published a book this past spring. And so I assumed that I was going to be spending the week turning the Sober Witch life into a printable workbook, right? Or a workbook that folks could order and actually write in, right? Um, I had no clue I was going to do that particular part. TBD, still on the radar. If that excites you, don't worry about it. But that's what I thought I was there to finish. But Spirit started to speak to me long before I stepped foot into that retreat center. I just didn't recognize the voice, right? And looking back now, I realized that that first clear nudge may have been back in February when I saw a listing for a church property that I wasn't looking for, right? My nose is itchy. So weird. But when I saw it, I remember thinking, how cool would that be, right? To have this physical space. And I started to daydream because, by golly, I love to daydream, and I love to daydream about reinventing spaces. It's a weird thing. Another story for another time. But I thought, how cool would it be to have a space to run rituals, to run workshops, to have community gather, in this sacred space? How freaking cool would that be? I didn't realize it then, but that was the first breadcrumb. By May or June, I'd received the download that this is bigger than just the business that I'd been running. This is a nonprofit. This is something that is rooted in service. This is something that can't be owned. It can only be stewarded. And this is something that Spirit wants to live long beyond me. And I kind of knew and understood a little bit about what that was, right? I started to do a little bit of research, but then the retreat came. And on the way, I heard, you're not building a workbook, you're building a temple. I remember the moment like a dream that had become solid, right? We were driving through upstate Maine. My partner's beside me, his son's in the back seat, and the sun filtered through the trees, and everything around us just felt alive. I mean, we're at the beginning of July, so by golly, just the world is blooming around you. We'd been on the road for days at this particular point, like probably 4 or 5 days, and just everything just felt so incredible. I'm riding shotgun, right? I'm not driving. And I'm staring out the window and I'm thinking about how lucky I am to have all of this time, right? These 5 days ahead of me carved out just to be able to create. And I was thinking about what I was going to focus on. And I didn't yet know what was coming, but my body did, right? I could feel that there was something subtle and something sacred that was shifting. And that's when Spirit whispered, you're not building a workbook, you're building a temple. And it didn't come with thunder, it didn't shake the car, it didn't need to, because something inside of me cracked open in that moment. As soon as I began researching what it would mean to form a nonprofit, and more importantly, what a religious nonprofit, tears started to well up in my eyes. Not out of fear or being concerned, but out of the truth. The kind of truth that your body remembers even when your brain is trying to play catch up. I was crying because I knew that this was something I was always meant to do. Remember that, don't say never. I didn't suddenly just become religious. I didn't suddenly want to become a founder of a religious organization, but I had remembered something. I'd remembered the moment that I was told I couldn't be an altar girl, and I remember how it made me question the very fabric of my belonging. I remembered how the moments, small to others, but enormous to me, planted the seed of spiritual exile. And in that seed, in that retreat, the seed had broken open, and Spirit said, this was what you always meant to do. And I believed it, not because it was easy. Because for any of you that have ever started a nonprofit, you're going to know it's not easy. A religious nonprofit, oh boy, golly. Whew. I believed it because it's the truest thing that I'd ever felt. I've been a spiritual teacher and an entrepreneur for a pretty long time now. I've created programs, I've built platforms, I've led groups of individuals. But I understand the difference now between a spiritual brand and a soul-rooted religion. For example, the Unschool of Sober Witchcraft, right? It's what I have. It's the brand that I have, I've built. It's a place for teaching, for exploration. It offers tools and guidance, and it will always have a purpose in this movement, right? But the religious organization that I'm building, the Sovereign Phoenix, it's different. It's not a program. It's not a product. It's not a coaching container. It's not a workbook, in case we missed that part in the beginning. It's a temple. It's a place where magic is sacred, not aesthetic, where addiction recovery is spiritual, not clinical, and where healing is not a service, but a soul assignment. This is a movement, a religion, a covenant between you and the divine. I wasn't chosen because I'm special. No. I only said yes because I was willing. And I can't pretend that I haven't doubted this, that I haven't sat there many times and just wondered, who am I to do this? What gives me the authority? Even recently in one of the recovery circles, I said, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm going to start a religious nonprofit. A witch's religion. And someone typed in the chat, way to go. That's incredible. It reminded me that this isn't mine alone. I may be here to give birth to it, but it is not mine to hold. This is for all the witches in recovery that have been hiding, for the psychic healers numbing their gifts with substance, for the queer, the neurodivergent, the spiritually exiled. This is for you. If you see yourself in my story, even just a little bit, if you've ever felt like you were too much, too strange, too sacred, know that this temple is being built for you too. Spirit did not ask me to do this because I'm perfect. Spirit asked because I would say yes, because I would keep listening, because I would keep showing up even when it felt impossible. And yeah, it's transforming me. Emotionally, I'm still healing. Spiritually, I'm being stretched into ways that I never would have imagined. And relationally, I'm learning how to welcome the right people in my life. But through it all, I'm gaining something I didn't expect, and that is the opportunity to help others heal the same religious trauma that I once carried. We don't have a place built, we don't yet have that place built just for witches in recovery, but it's about to change, my dear friends, because the temple is rising, the phoenix is rising, and spirits told me that the time is now. So until next time, my dear friends, much love from me to all of you.